Hey everybody, Carolina Knives here. Today, I just wanted to show y'all something I've been working on the past maybe hour and a half, 2 hours. My dad, one of these is from my dad, but the other two I got, and I just kind of wanted to practice. I know Kevin Knife Doctor, if y'all don't know him, he's Knife Doctor. He does what his name is, and he takes old knives and he makes them have some life again. So I really like these camillus. This one's not a camillus, but this one is a camillus. But that like old, just antique bone, I think is what they call it. I love that antique bone. So I wanted some more of these knives, but the ones in mint condition are, $150 to $300 if you want. Like I collect camp knives, and I just liked this easy open with a spear point, but they're just so expensive. So I was looking on eBay and I was watching these, and I actually got this one for I think like $25, and this one for like, I don't know, 45. And I collect camp knives, and I bet knives with bails on them, like electricians' knives and whalers and stuff like that. So I wanted one of these, so I just got it. And it did need some TLC. It had some rust on it, and you can see some of the pitting and that carbon steel. What Kevin likes to say is that good carbon steel, and that is really what this is. It is just a big hunk of just good carbon steel and antique bone. This bone was absolutely untouched. There was nothing wrong with it. It's just beautiful. I like the cutout for this old punch blade. You can tell it's been polished up. If you couldn't tell by my finger, I was doing some work. Been polished up. All these blades were pitted and rusted and just grime all over the place, but this is a very old style can opener. This is the good snap. This is the flathead bottle opener. I don't know if I called that a bottle opener, a can opener and bottle opener with the flathead screwdriver. Good snap. And it really did not have any snap at all. There was so much just grime and pocket lint and just so much stuff in the knife. I did have to do a little bit of sanding on some of them to keep them down. If y'all don't know, camp knives and just I guess older knives in general, the points stick up on them. So it would be down like this, and the point would be sticking up like that, and you just kind of got to grind down the right here a little bit, the tang. Just grind that down so it doesn't stick up as much. These do have new edges on them, as you can tell. Did that with belt sander. Just these old knives, you don't need to bring out the big sharpening systems or anything like that. I think this is Imperial. I'm not 100% sure. It just says made in USA. Doesn't say anything on it. Could be Colonial. Could be Camillus. Not 100% sure. But let's get this punch blade out. This punch blade, if y'all have never cleaned a punch blade before, it is very difficult to get in between that, where you pull up and kind of the swirl, if you're punching leather, the swirl in it, it's just hard to clean. I thought I did a pretty decent job, but just camp knives in general are just very, very difficult to clean. Like this right here, if it's all grimy in between there and in between the can opener, it's just hard to get it with a buffer wheel. Especially right here with the bail, any bail knives like this, like the electrician's knives, whalers, if there's major rust or pitting, it's very hard to get them completely 100% clean. Unless you have some sort of Dremel tool where you can get in there super fine details, but I got it as good as I could with a buffer wheel. Cleaned up the bail. This main blade was pretty bad. I got it to... it wasn't really used. It was just kind of neglected. Rust and pitting and, as you can tell, scratches. But that's really what gives this knife character. If I had to date this knife just off of the dome and just not knowing too much about it, just a random eBay buy, I'd say anywhere from like cases X's under, it would be anywhere from like 40 to 70s, I would say. But more along like that 50s to 60s, I'd put it. I know Kevin has books that will probably date these knives, and he can tell who made them and all that, but I just got it in. As soon as I got it in, I just wanted to clean it up. Didn't do any research on it or anything. But love that bone. On to the next one. This was not an eBay buy. This was actually given to me by my dad and my grandpa. If you haven't watched the most recent Knife Crazy video and Knife Doctor video, my dad went down to Georgia and he went pawn shopping and antique store and stuff with my grandpa. So this was one of their purchases. That wasn't on video, but they did do a video on like the haul that they had. This wasn't that video. But I mean, it wasn't in horrible shape. It just needed to be cleaned up a little bit. You can see a little bit of pitting on the bolster. This is not clamshell. This is pinned on half stop. It is by Colonial. Date on this, I'd say again that 50s to 70s. Good snap. Nice. Did get sharpened, cleaned up, but that is that good carbon steel again. Just those old USA made knives have that great carbon steel. Now, if y'all don't know electrician's knives, you know these get messed up the most. The kind of just tape cutter is what I call that. It's not sharp, but it's got a little bit of a point to it. I think that's for electrician's tape. But flathead screwdriver. And you can kind of go like this to cut and then like this to screw. But patent right there. Then lock, push that over. Nice, just great knife. It is yellow synthetic, but kind of shrunk a little bit, not horrible. Pretty good condition knife. I mean, you can't beat that for $5. You really can't. Just cleaning it up, give it a little bit of love, and you got a good knife. Now, this knife, I really like this style, the easy open with a spear and the long pull. Spear, blade, long pull right here, and then the swedges in it. That has got to be my favorite looking blade. Did need to be cleaned up. Wasn't horrible, but needed to be sharpened. There were some chips in the blade. This is a camillus, but again, that half stop old bone, just love that old bone. Just looks great. These two look great. These were eBay purchases. Just because of the way the bone looks and how similar these knives are, I want to say it's camillus, but I'm not 100% sure. If you know, you can correct me in the comments, but pin blade, great snap on it. Had to kind of fix that tip a little bit, as you can tell. Good snap. And love that easy open. Just easy pinch it open like that. As you can see right there at the easy open, which happens a lot with these easy open knives, is the bone cracks right there, but it was repaired pretty good. I did not do that. I kind of made it look better, but I did not do that. The previous owner did. But if that crack wasn't there, this would be a $80 to $100 knife all day long. In the condition that the main blade's in, I mean, it's barely been sharpened. Camillus, I don't know the dating on this camillus. I'm new to the what I like to call like Kevin Knife Doctor type of knives, the old made in the USA. I'm more of a, I know the datings of Case, I know the datings of Schrade and Buck and all that. I just don't know the datings of like Imperial or Camillus, Camco, Pal. My grandpa could tell you in a heartbeat, but I can't. And just great knives, cleaned them up. And the main point of this video is I was going to show y'all the knives that I cleaned up. I didn't really want to get it on video because I wanted to take my time and just be careful with it without having to stress out about showing y'all what to do and how to do it. But I do have some things here that I used to clean up those knives. Never Dull If you know Kevin the Knife Doctor, you know he loves this stuff. But it's just kind of like a, cotton towel type of stuff, and you pull it out. It kind of smells like acetone, and it's just a cleaner polisher. All metal wadding polish, and works great. I mean, polished up those knives great. I did also use a 6-inch bench grinder with a fiber wheel and a Harbor Freight 1-inch by 30-inch belt sander. Now this is just a little pick. I mean, that's all it is, just Harbor Freight again, and just a pick to kind of clean the inside of these knives. Let me show you the inside and what I mean by that. I got this one as good as I could get it. Again, it was pretty bad with rust. See in the middle. But to be able to kind of get down in there and just pick that grime and pocket lint out of places you wouldn't be able to get with something like sandpaper. That's again what my grandpa told me to do, how he told me how to do it, but I've kind of refined it in. I'm get the heavy stuff with the sandpaper, but get kind of the smaller things that are stuck in there with a pick. Harbor Freight, like $5 for a pack of like 20 of these. Okay, and obviously your microfiber. You got to have a microfiber just to clean that polishing grime off. Get down in there, clean whatever you need. You got to have these. Now, oil. Whenever you get these rusty old knives, you got to have oil. This is 3-in-1 oil. This is all you need for these older knives. And you put it down in the where the pin's at. The pin's holding the blades together. Just get it down in there, in the back spring, like anywhere, and just kind of get that grime out of there. And just, you can open these up, open, close, to kind of wiggle all that grime out of there. But you got to have this to smooth out those, like this knife with a half stop. It wasn't really wanting to snap in there, so I had to get the oil, get it down in there to be able to get that snap back. 3-in-1, good brand. Now, this one especially, and this yellow synthetic. The yellow synthetic wasn't horrible, but it definitely needed this. The factory automatically puts grease in it whenever you buy these knives. And the knives will sit there for years and years and years and not be opened and closed. And the grease will just sit in there and get dry and sticky with pocket lint all in it. So you need something like this. This is Remington brand, Rim Action Cleaner. This is for guns too, knives, anything you want it to be for. It's almost like, see, firearm action cleaner. It's kind of like a brake cleaner. It just unsticks that oil and grease, that old oil and grease, and kind of cleans it up in there. And then you can put your 3-in-1, put more oil in there. And like I was talking about, sandpaper. This is super fine grit just to kind of get that pitting and stuff off the tang and off that camillus tang stamp, and just to clean it up really well. That's just a couple things that I used. Obviously the 6-inch bench grinder and the 1x30-inch belt sander, Harbor Freight. But I mean, that's all you really need to clean up these old knives. You can get these knives cheaper, pawn shop, eBay, for way cheaper than buying them already in mint condition, or somebody's already cleaned them up. And then you can do it yourself. And I'll be more willing to put this in my pocket and carry this. And it has more of a sentimental value because I'm the one who cleaned it up, and I'm the one who got in there, and I know what happened, and got that cleaned up, and I know what happened to this knife, and I'm able to say, yeah, I got it working, I got it sharp again, I got it to be able to snap. It's just a good feeling. I'm definitely going to start doing this more, especially these older knives. I really like these old camp knives. And next one I'm going to get is probably the one that says USN or USA on it, right there on that shield, a camillus again. But I'm definitely, I got to get more of these old camp knives and electrician's knives to clean them up. It's just too much fun. Once you get in the garage and you just start cleaning them you don't want to stop. It's very addicting. This has got to be a 15-minute video on just ranting about cleaning up old knives and just how fun it can be to just kind of take a break from buying your newest case knives or your newest Great Eastern cutleries and just kind of go for the older beat up stuff and clean it up and kind of make it your own. Like if I wanted to, I could completely take this patina off and do a new grind on this blade. If I really wanted to, I could shape up and sharpen up this old can opener, and I could style up this old flathead and just make it my own knife. And I really, not that I don't care about it, but I don't care about messing it up because I got it to fix up and it needed to be fixed. So anything is better than the condition it was in. And just love that old bone. Obviously, synthetic's fine too if you want to clean that up. It's just harder to clean up synthetic with like a belt sander or a bench grinder because you can mess up that synthetic pretty bad. The bone, you can polish on the back springs all you want, and these don't have brass, by the way, all steel. And it doesn't get tarnished or melted off right there. These do, and it's kind of pain in the butt to clean those back springs, but that's just something you have to work on whenever you're doing synthetic knives. That's what I've figured out. But just love these old knives, love to clean them up, and they're going to be in my collection. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know what y'all think about this whole cleaning up and stuff like that. Have a good day.